of data, we've got a lot of knowledge where Daniel is. I think, as I say, there's a much bigger picture within the whole, driver merry-go-round of, what does the future look like? So, inevitably, we'll sit down during this 3-week period of off time and consider all of those options.
I'm a bit confused with things at Red Bull, Christian, if I'm honest, because you've got 4 seats on the grid. You've only got one driver you really, truly believe in. You're trying to swap them around. And the good doctor's binned off some incredible young drivers. Yeah. Two of them are on the grid still, in Albon and Gasly. And you've lost Verne, Da Costa. You've given all these young men a really fantastic opportunity. That must be said. But should you have kept some of those in the system? Why have you ended up with probably one of the weaker driver pairings on the grid?
Well, it's a very good question. I mean, we've given a great opportunity to so many youngsters over the period of time, many of who you've mentioned there, and the Red Bull system, it does demand results and demand performance, and of course, Max is delivering. Checo has been under-delivering this year. Last year he did a good job, or good enough job, to finish second in the championship and be constructors champion. And I think we're having to look further down the road. We've got some great talent. We've got Liam Lawson on the bench. We're not quite sure. Looking at the likes of Colapinto and Bierman and Antonelli, is he at that level? Only time will tell. We've got Isaac Hajar in Formula 2 that's been until recently leading that championship. We've got a very exciting young talent that I'm particularly excited about in F3, Arvid Lindblad. So we've got depth in our junior program, and that's why there's a natural point in time.
Right now, haven't
We've got a gap now, but we just want to take time to consider what do those options look like for the future. And look, we're not afraid to go out of the pool. George Russell is out of contract at the end of next year. It'd be foolish not to take that into consideration. There are other drivers, talented drivers, that could well be out of contract as well.
Are there any truth to the rumour that there's a release clause that could potentially have been exercised if Liam Lawson didn't get into a car in the latter part of this season? Is that anything you can comment on? And what are his strengths? I'm not
going to go into the ins and outs of drivers' contracts. there's privacy between the company and the individuals, but Liam, the job that he did for us last year in the V-Cub car was very impressive. Now, we talk experience over that, because Daniel was our banker for if Sergio were to drop the ball, and Daniel's had a reasonable season, but it hasn't been a stellar year. Now the question is how good is Liam? And sometimes difficult decisions have to be made in order to get those answers. Now we'll sit down with all of those options available to us during this next 3-week gap.
Can I move to this weekend?
If you could do what you want.
With pleasure.
Yeah. Would that be okay with you, Christian?
Absolutely.
So yesterday, appalling day.
Yes. Well summed up.
Yeah. Yes. Today, Max actually went out and said, "Oh, I'm much more happy with the car." Have you made major changes? Is it in a better place now? And think you can save the damage limitation and be in the top 5, perhaps?
Yeah, we tried something yesterday that didn't work. It was really as a hangover of last year, and I think we perhaps slightly took ourselves down a rabbit hole, because last year the ride with the car, it was the one race we didn't win. The car on the bumps was shocking, and so we tried a few things to try and combat that, but the combination of the circuit being resurfaced and the setup changes we made, we totally overcompensated. So I think we've come much more back into the window today. Sebastian Bohemia, driver that's been with us for many years, a junior driver that has won many sports car world championships. He's been on the simulator all night, as I'm sure others have been, and they've been working on refining the setup. Now on the medium tire, Max was the quickest in that session earlier, so it was a great turnaround. Now the soft tire is the temperamental one, and to be honest, Lando looks blisteringly quick in that temperature. Now it's probably going to drop 10 degrees. These tires are so emotional. How they're going to react, who knows?
Thanks, Christian. Appreciate your time.
Thank you
We'll
very
let
much.
you get on with it.